This is a short demonstration of TCP trace kind of an analytics for going from the big data to the detailed TCP packet level KPIs. This is possible with the EXFO's TravelHawk Pro product, and I'm going to demonstrate that how to use the product and what kind of functionalities there are in this new feature, what we call TCP packet level analytics. First, you need to get the data to be analyzed. Any data pickup, any kind of a pickup format can be imported. There's no data limits. You can have data from up to a couple of terabytes and it can be analyzed. Once the pickup data is in, either by importing or capturing by the system itself supports up to 4 times 10 gigabits per links and practically on line rate data. So you can capture the data from the unit with the unit, or you can import that outside, for example via USB disk or via network drive. Once the data is imported or captured, you need to analyze the data. You can use the default analytics just by adding, for example, IP application statistic analytics. And in this case, I'm showing a demonstration with the pre-captured data, 7 gigabits of data, and it's already analyzed. To go to the TCP level, you first have to go to the flow level data. And in this example, I'm just going to utilize this network reporting, and one of the tabs in the network report is IP application statistics. I'm not going to go detail on there. There is a separate sessions for that, but you can go deeper, for example, for TCP trace, utilizing the HTTP flows. So I'm selecting HTTP flows, so related flows, and the system is now actually querying all of the HTTP flows, over 9,000 of them, into the screen. Naturally, you can do the query directly from the flow view, and you can use any information you might need to have to go for specific flows. For example, detecting the IP address you are interested, or maybe the web server name, or whatever is the way to get to the flows you want to actually analyze deeper. In this example, I'm just going to use as a default the very first couple of flows, right click and then selecting TCP Analytics. Selecting TCP Analytics, the system is actually selecting the flows itself and creating a pickup file out of that and analyzing that utilizing the TCP trace analytics. The data is shown here in a default view. You can select how you want to see the data. In this example, I'm seeing all of the 5 supported graphs at the same time activated, and I can see that in my screen I'm stacking 2 columns in side by side. So the system supports outstanding graph, throughput, and segment size graphs, as well as the round trip time and the time sequence graphs. These graphs include all of the KPIs, for example, in time sequence graph. So if you look, so we can see that it supports all of the KPIs what the TCP trace is supporting. So we have acknowledgement, receipt window, advertise, and so on. All of the information is available in one graph. By the system itself, you are then able to further deeper analyze the data in the graphs itself. So let's select the graphical window so that we only have one graph at a time in the screen, and we can of course not only scroll to the different graphs. But it's also possible to have multiple graphs in the same window. So if I want to see, for example, on top of the time sequence graph also the throughput graph, I can just drag and drop it and it will automatically activate all of the throughput KPIs to the same graph. So now we are utilizing same timeline, but we are utilizing the throughput in a different y-axis. It is possible to then unselect or deselect the connection. So if I unselect the throughput graphs, at least the detailed throughput graphs, so I just unselect them by selecting the KPI and the connection from the labels below the graph itself. The data itself can be then further zoomed in, so you can use the scroll or you can use the selection window by shift and selecting to zoom into the data itself. All the different KPIs can be then seen more detailed, and you can see also then the information by hovering the mouse over for any given mark what is seen into the screen itself. The data can be then seen, each axis can be seen with a relative value. Like in this case, we can use the segment size so that it's not using the relative but actually the real segment numbering. Then of course we will have a second y-axis because we have both directions in the same graph. Or we can use them starting from the 0. And same goes with the time. It can be start from the 0 or utilizing the real timestamp itself. Data can be exported. There's a little icon in the right hand corner, so it can be exported by a picture file or comma separate file or some other file format as well for your reports. It's possible also to add additional graphs, so you can create your own report. You can select any graph and right click that to the active KPI or as a new KPI. It will create a new tab and you can add in this specific graph then, for example, multiple KPIs just by drag and dropping, so that you can create a very multi-informational and graph which can be then used to analyze if, for example, window size or segment size is reflecting for the throughput or to the resending of the packages itself. This is a TCP trace, TCP Packet Analytics options supported in TravelHawk Pro, and you can find more information from that by contacting EXFO and looking at the product pages itself by selecting www.exfo.com/thp.